Good morning, it's Cristina Miranda again, and I'm taking over Soviet Studio story today, and we're working on quilted coasters. This is a great project because it's going to give you a nice snapshot of all of the stages involved in patchwork and quilting in a much smaller project. So I look forward to hearing the stages that you loved, the ones that you didn't, anything that you've learned. If you have any questions, just message me. I would love to answer and chat about it. I'm going to be making a set of 4 coasters, but you're welcome to make one. You should have fabric around the house that you can use. It doesn't require much. And I'm going to put on a pot of coffee and we're going to get started. All right, see you soon. All right, so we're going to be using foundation paper piece templates. These were inspired by my butterfly waltz quilts. I've scaled them down and changed a couple of things, but overall quite the same. And so your first step is going to be to print these out. You can find them at my Ships and Violins bio. Just click on blog and then it'll be the first blog post that's there. Download the file and print. If you'd like to make one coaster, you're only going to need 1 page. If you'd like to make a set of coasters like me, you're going to print 2 pages. So these are the fabrics I chose for my coasters. When I tested the project out last week, I found it best to use pattern and bolder fabrics for fabrics A and B, and then solids or low volume fabrics for C and D. So if you look at the template, my 2 pattern fabrics will be in the center, and then my 2 solids will be on the outside. Especially for the set of 4 coasters, it looks really nice to have the 2 pattern fabrics in the center. Okay, can't wait to see what you're going to choose. All right, so at this point we should have our templates prepared. They should be trimmed, and notes about which fabric goes where should be written on them. And we should have all of our fabrics cut. So now it's time to foundation paper piece. This technique can be a little bit tricky to start, but I've made lots of videos to walk you through template A. And once you know template A, you can do the rest of them. So here we go. So we're going to start with template A. Following the codes, we know that fabric B is the first piece that'll be sewn onto the template paper. My fabric B is this one here. Your first piece is always upside down. We're going to fold the template between A2 and B1. And we're going to place the fabric just about 1/4 inch above that fold. You know your next piece is A2, fabric A, which is my floral fabric here. Now this piece will go right side up underneath my fabric B, matching that 1/4 inch right there. Now you'll go to your sewing machine and you're going to sew along the line between B1 and A2 using a smaller stitch than normal. I'm going to be using a 1.8. So I've sewn along the line between B1 and A2. I did back stitch within this seam allowance on both ends as well, and I've pressed open my fabrics. So now you have fabric A and fabric B nicely pressed. Your next step is to attach fabric C to the template. And in this case, you're going to have to rip the template a little bit, but you want to fold the template along that line there between A2 and A3. And now you want to create that 1/4 inch seam by placing your ruler, matching the 1/4 inch with the side of the paper template, and you're just going to trim like that. So now you have that 1/4 inch, and you're going to place your fabric C underneath that piece, which is my mint. And this is right side up as well. So match there. Make sure you have enough room on both sides. So you're not gonna, when it presses open, you're gonna make. So I've sewn that line between A2 and C3 and I pressed my fabric open. So we have one last piece to add, and it's our fabric D, which in my case is mustard, and you're going to do the exact same thing. You have to tear a little bit of the template here to fold it along that line. You're going to use your ruler to measure 1/4 inch above the fold, trim off that fabric, and you're going to add your fabric B right side up underneath your template. And you're going to sew along B1 and D4. So I've sewn that line between B1 and D4, attaching my last piece of fabric to the template. I've pressed everything open, everything lies flat, it looks fantastic. And then your last step is to cut along that outer line here into a perfect square, and then we'll move on to basting and quilting. We're going to prepare our templates for quilting by placing the backing right side facing down, then our batting. You could use interfacing if that's all you have, and then you're going to place your coaster right in the center. Ensure that it's nice and flat, and you're going to safety pin it in all 4 corners and the center. This is called a quilt sandwich. And then we'll move on to quilting. So we finished our quilted coasters. I hope you had a good time doing it and you learned a technique or two. I would love to see what you made, so tag @ShipsandViolins so I can have a look. I'm going to post a tutorial up on how to make these on my website hopefully tomorrow. So if you didn't get a chance to make them today, don't worry. You can always go check back and see my iron is timing out on me here. So that's also my time to go. Thanks for joining again. I hope to see you guys soon, and have a great day.